Welcome to the Dirty Side of Leadership podcast with Ron and Kristin, where leadership meets entertainment. This podcast features stories with names and certain aspects that have been changed to keep submissions private. Enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Dirty Side of Leadership podcast, where leadership meets entertainment. I'm Kristin Sokolov, and I'm here with my co-host, Ron Ward. Today, we are diving into something a little different, the quirks, sayings, and history that make the Pacific Northwest and the South so unique. I'm from Portland, Oregon. Ron is down in Charleston, South Carolina. And trust me, the way our regions talk about leadership, food, and life could not be more different.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I was so excited to team up with you, Kristin. I thought we could bring very unique perspectives from private sector to government to, Northwest, South. And it has made, I think, for some interesting conversations in the podcast. I want to put it on the record. I grew up in the Appalachian Mountains, coal fields, and we had some of our own unique expressions, but some of them are the same. But I've been in the Charleston area for a long time. I'm at the birthplace of sweet tea, Kristin. So
the best.
Apparently, yeah, we've given a lot of people, heart problems, but we're proud of it. Anyway, yeah. So let's get a little introduction here. There's nothing more obvious in the differences than the expressions. So this podcast is going to be fun, folks. We're just going to have a good time. But in down south, there's a lot of things that we do for diplomacy, like you're going to hear terms like bless your heart. And it can mean so many different things. It's all about voice inflection, like bless your heart or bless your heart. So it's really cool. But it even took me a little bit moving here I moved from Charleston, West Virginia to close to Charleston, South Carolina. And there were a few expressions that are different. So we're going to have some fun today. So stay with us.
I'm curious, can you say bless your heart and not have it mean something derogatory?
Maybe if there's an actual crisis, you might be able to say, bless your heart, we're really praying for you all or something. But most of the time, there's some level of double meaning when you say it. But you can inspire, but usually it's passive aggressive.
Super interesting. And that's where great leaders use tone and context carefully. I mean, I've definitely said bless your heart here in the Northwest because I'm literally meaning that. And it doesn't mean the same that it does in the South. And so the same words can inspire or wound. So read the room before you speak. And, here in the Northwest, we're just as sneaky. Someone will, let's say, taste whatever dish you brought. I know in the Midwest, a lot of people bring casseroles. Here, it's generally something healthier. They might taste your food, smile, and politely say, that's interesting. Which, in case someone's wondering, that's code for, please don't bring that dish again, right? And so, the leadership tip I would say with that is politeness can mask the truth. And in leadership, you've got to learn to decode feedback. Don't just hear the words. Pay attention to what's not being said.
Yeah, that's good. Interesting would be similar to bless your heart, especially with the right voice inflections. I have had someone frustrated with me before and like they make a point and I go, interesting you feel that way.
Yes.
You're really saying, get your stuff together because you shouldn't be feeling that way. Let's do this. I want to take a quick break from these idioms and I want to compare food for a second.
Okay.
I wrote a few down, Kristin. I just want to see, number one, I want to know if you've ever tried it. And then number two, number one, if you know what it is. Number two, if you've ever tried it. Okay.
Okay.
So cornbread.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Do you guys make cornbread out there in outer space?
Yeah, I made it actually last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you tried biscuits and gravy?
I know what it is, but I have not tried it before.
Are you, Kristin? Oh, you were in Charleston. If I'd have known. Yeah, but
it doesn't seem appealing to me.
I would have taken you to Cracker Barrel. Bread. Kristin and I were just talking about the Cracker Barrel controversy. I said, I would have taken
Is it literally just biscuits with gravy on top. Is there any chicken or protein involved?
My mama, as I called her, she made the biscuits were so fluffy. Some people call them cat head biscuits, by the way. That means they're big. Cat head biscuits. And the gravy, she would put some kind of grease in there, I guess, maybe from sausage or bacon. I know it's not healthy, but it is, gourmet. And it's like nobody could copy her recipe. My mother makes it pretty good. It's not healthy, but occasionally, I kid you not, about twice a year, I will go to a restaurant that makes not the white we call sawmill gravy like you get at Cracker Barrel or somewhere. It's got to be the brown great gravy. And I'm telling you, it's gourmet. We would like to hear from you, by the way, if you get any unique foods. We would love to hear about it.
All right.
How about this one? Chicken and waffles.
Freak things do you have?
Chicken and waffles.
Yeah, they have that out here. But it's like an elevated bougie.
Didn't you have that when you came here?
No. You know what I had every day there was shrimp and grits.
Oh, that was the other one.
I had that. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The chicken and waffles was not a thing in Appalachia where I grew up. So when I moved here, everyone's eating it, and I tried it. I just can't get into it. I could, just cannot get into it. A lot of, as you know, fried foods, pork chops. I heard that.
Sounds horrible.
And then one other cool thing, when I moved here, they have a lot of oyster roast. And
that sounds good.
Yeah, it's really cool. But the funny thing is, I said, there's some kind of a dog whistle, some kind of a hidden dinner bell, because they would have plywood. And when these things would be ready, they just take a big thing and like sling them across the plywood. And all of a sudden people would, like, kids would be playing, everybody just start walking like zombies toward the plywood.
That's
and
funny.
You get the oysters and crack them open.
Hey, that's awesome. We don't do that here.
I might throw out a few more, but here's a challenge to you, Kristin. You got to try biscuits and gravy. We all want to hear back from you.
All right. I think I tried making it once, but it didn't turn out too hot.
Do you do biscuits? Like biscuits?
Yeah, like I did. I'll have to do it again. It just, you know what it is? I'm married to someone that has to eat extremely balanced. He basically eats a protein and a green every night. So that's how I cook for the last, 20 years. But even growing up, we didn't eat that kind of stuff. So
tell Dave
that'll be on my list. I've definitely heard of it. That'll be on my list.
He's insulting your cholesterol and make some good.
Oh my gosh. All right. What else do you have?
Well, let's get into a few more idioms or expressions.
I bet I've heard of them all because, Portland's a foodie town, and Portland has a lot of Southern inspired restaurants.
Oh, okay.
So that might be, but you never know. There might be something out there I haven't heard of.
All right. Let me give you this one.
Okay.
We're going to switch, guys. We're going back to idioms here.
Ron's like, she knows more than I thought. This is boring.
I know. All right, ready? That dog won't hunt. What's that saying?
That it's not a high functioning dog. No, I don't know.
Oh my God!
I'm going to take that as a no.
I just didn't see that coming. Oh, that dog won't hunt. It's not a high-functioning dog. Oh, Lord.
So that's like what they're designed to do. And so if
that can mean anything that won't work. Like, you're going to do something that I don't think it'll work. I'll go, Kristin, that dog won't hunt. Give it up. Forget about it. Move on.
Never heard of that. That's awesome.
Oh, that was so funny.
I have to use some of these. They'll spice up my repertoire.
Do it for fun. Just, when someone's doing something and it's not going to work, just say,
I like it.
Hunt.
I like it.
Oh, good old hunting dogs.
Oh, my goodness.
They're not prevalent anymore. All right, go ahead.
Okay. What about in the Northwest, you're going to hear, and this especially resonates with me because I live right near a mountain. So you'll hear the mountain's out. What do you think that means for us Northwesterners?
Okay. I read ahead on this one.
Oh, okay.
So I know.
Right.
So you just go ahead and tell people. And I'm going to tell you though why. But go ahead.
So basically that means that either Mount Hood, which is the one I live at the base of Mount Hood, or Mount Rainier, which is up towards Seattle, is visible through the clouds. So the translation is today's a good day. We actually literally measure happiness by whether or not we can see a mountain. And it's sad, but true. That means it's not cloud covered.
No, I get that. Chris and I had a chat, but I love Seattle. I love that landscape, the way it's laid out. So the first time I went, Mount Rainier just freaked me out. And I told someone it looks like it was painted by the fingerprint of God. And I loved it so much and talked about it so much. The day we were leaving, there was a U.S. probation officer's daughter. He had given us a tour. I went to Snoqualmie Falls and just cool stuff. And we are checking out of the hotel, and they said, we have something for you. And we opened the envelope, and she'd got us 2 prints of Mount Rainier, and I've still got it.
That's so nice.
I put all my, my going away stuff from retirement. All that's up in my attic. So I was up there. I had to get my HVAC fixed, but I saw that picture of Mount Rainier.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Mount Hood, I've only seen on, pretty much pictures, but
it's definitely, it's smaller. Mount Hood's about 11,000. And Rainier, gosh, I feel like it's up 15. I know people use it to practice when they're going to Everest. Rainier's a practice mountain.
Oh, really?
A training mountain. Yeah. So it's pretty high. No, but it's so true. We have so much cloud cover here that when we can see the mountain, it's really
So what's
exciting.
a leadership tip from seeing the mountains?
I would say we can bring it back to that leaders should be giving their teams a clear view of success. So when the mountain is out, morale rises. That's literally how it is here also. When the sun's out, everyone's in a good mood. But the other thing is you want to show the goal, not just the grind, right? People need something to look forward to. Even, I don't know about you, Ron, I need to have a little vacation, not like anything elaborate. I need to have a weekend at the beach planned in the next 3 months. Like I have to, every 3 months, I like to have something to look forward to, like something out of town. In the workplace, people have to know Monday through Friday, what are we working towards? Is it a bonus? Is it a team goal? Is it a promotion, right? Like what's the objective here?
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't give a good clear on that dog won't hunt. I want to give a good leadership tip. Leaders shouldn't just say the dog won't hunt. You should always explain why. Otherwise, you're going to shut down creativity. Sometimes we forget to give the why, and it's very important in business. All right, I've got another one for you.
All right.
Kristin, I'm madder than a wet hen.
So I'm assuming hens don't like to get wet. So
that's
like
good.
A cat? Yeah.
This one I actually researched because I did wonder where that came from. So in the 19th century, it's farm humor, of course, that chickens absolutely hate to get wet. And
I did not know that.
Southerners turned it into a leadership lesson. And I guess the leadership tip for us would be address small frustrations early. Leaders who ignore them end up with bigger conflicts. Then they're madder than a wet hen. So
I did not realize. I knew cats hated to get wet. I did not realize that chickens are the same way.
You thought of the Mad Hatter.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I've had cats. I haven't had chickens. So maybe that's not much to go off of. All right. Here's a Northwest one for you. Up here, discomfort just means you're raising your kids free range. So basically, have you heard of that? Like raising kids free range?
Well, the funny thing is I use that expression, but I say they're raising 80s kids. Like my daughter's neighbors, their kids are always on motorcycles. They're out on the water and all that. And I go, oh my God, they're raising 80s kids. So
anyway. I actually say the 80s kids thing also. But it is, here in the Northwest, a lot of people say free range, and that just means you're not micromanaging every move your kid makes, which is, I mean, I'm guilty of it a bit, not over the top, but there's a lot of, oh gosh, what is it when you're just like, they call it, it's like the mom that's always hovering.
The helicopter, the
helicopter mom.
Hover moms.
Yeah. So it's basically the opposite of that. It's kind of a badge of honor. I see that a lot in the homeschool community. There's a little more free ranging happening with some, but I would say the the Northwest population. There's a joke that half the population was raised by wolves, rivers, or REI, and it's just because we're so outdoorsy here. There's so much to do. We're rarely, when the sun is out, even just clouds, we are outside hiking.
Yeah, I've got new neighbors from Michigan, and I was just talking with them, and they said, yeah, we found out you get 118 more days of sunlight here. So here we are.
Oh my gosh. Oh, let me give a leadership lesson on this one too, or a tip. So leaders in the Northwest definitely embrace resilience. We understand growth often comes from letting people figure things out without the micromanaging. So going back to free range, there's like something on parenting that my husband always likes to say, it's give the problem back to them. And so instead of like when my son or daughter comes to me with something, instead of doing it for them, give the problem back to them. You can guide them. And we need to do that with our employees also.
Yeah, no, that's a good tip.
How are we going to fix this?
That's a good tip. I used to do that a lot. Basically, I would say, what's your solution? That's how I would present it.
You probably know people like to complain a lot to the manager. And I think that's great. Come to me if you have something you're frustrated with. But I want you to propose a solution also. What are your ideas? And a lot of times they didn't have any. So.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
well, I just wanted to complain. I don't know.
Yeah, things are easy until you have to fix it. Now, free range, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but, that's a big deal with free range chickens and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is just everything assumed to be free range because they eat healthier in the Northwest, or do you use that term for animals as well, food?
Yeah, no, that the term is definitely used for animals too. So like we generally... it's very important in the Northwest. Typically speaking, we don't buy eggs that are just like your typical white eggs from the chickens that are just sitting there in a cage, popping them out, where the lights are on in the facility 24/7. I don't know if you know that. If you have eggs that have a really thin shell, that means those chickens are treated like crap and your eggs are poor quality. So anyways, we definitely go for the free range.
I'm glad you can tell, because I used to think free range and organic are overused and exaggerated, but that's just my skeptic coming out.
My husband used to be that way, Ron, and I had him, he came over to the bright side over here now.
Okay.
All right. I'm serious. Check your eggshells. Buy an organic thing, 6er of eggs or a dozen, whatever, and then buy a crappy one, right? Like the normal ones that just cost a few dollars, and you will see a big difference in the yolk color and the shell quality. So
I should get darker colored eggs. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, generally the darker ones are good, but you'll find the white eggs, the white egg shells are very thin, and it's generally because of the health of the chicken is poor.
Interesting.
Or they're under stress because
there you go, folks. That's why you want to listen to this podcast. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So
it's like kind of the same. If you had your employees working and the lights were on 24/7, because that's what they do in these chicken facilities, because they want them to constantly be laying eggs, right? So they have the lights on, they don't get that rest. And so if you did that to your employees and you had them, chained to the computer and they're just supposed to work 24/7, the quality is going to be poor. So it's the same thing with chickens.
Very cool. All right, I've got another one, and this is one of my favorite. I've got a quick little story with it. I'm fixing to do this. Have you heard that?
Yes. I'm assuming it's like I'm preparing to.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
And my grandmother, Bethel Ward, God bless her, she was apparently this wonderful woman. She moved from a more populated area because they needed school teachers in the area where I grew up. So she got there, and one of the funny things she said, I found out no one does anything, but they're fixing to. And, so
I love that.
That was one of her funny expressions.
I love that.
We have to understand that procrastination kills momentum. And there's a lot of ways that people express that, like, yeah, it's on my list. I'm going to get to that. And it's really that, they're fixing to land, but they just never land. So that's where I use SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, attainable, and time-based. Time-based is huge. You got to give people deadlines. I don't like to micromanage, but it definitely changed the way I reworded things. We started getting things done. Anyway. There you
No,
go.
that's incredibly important. And, even someone like me, I struggle with procrastinating the things I'm not passionate about, right? The things I'm passionate about, I'll bang them out in like a few seconds. It's like done. But things I'm not, I'll put it on a short list. And then I'm like, you know what? No, I'm really working on it. Every day I work on being better and better and better.
Kristin, do you know that's one of the most common things we work on in the coaching space, and we do a term called habit stacking and prioritization. Those are two things. You learn to build a mental process. You put it in place that I go by priority, not interest, because we're all that way. Everyone wants to watch their favorite show, but you don't want to watch someone else's favorite show with them because you don't enjoy it.
Right.
So what we have to do is, and it does take numerous times to start switching, my preference over to my process. And when you begin to do that, and then you're habit stacking, like I've decided, let's say I got a big project I don't want to do. So every time I do something I'm interested in, then I'm going to work on this big project. I'm going to stack it onto that. And I'll do 15 minutes on it or 30 minutes. Time blocking is something we add to that. You got a certain amount of time that you work on it. Then reward system. We forget to reward ourselves so you can turn it into a pleasant opportunity. There's some free coaching.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing, Ron. It's so important, and we don't think about that often enough. I feel like we just label ourselves. I am one way, I procrastinate, right? But then it's like you can work towards fixing that. So that's huge. Okay. I just realized I'm wearing seersucker, and I just threw it on this morning because it was light and I'm in a hot garage.
Yeah. And if you're listening, she is literally wearing a seersucker, which is, the South. And if you're not familiar with seersucker, it's usually the most common one is light blue with these little white, I guess, pinstripes. And people wear the old wingtip. Some people wear white shoes. It looks so cool with maybe a fedora or something. And when I do see a lot of the older gentlemen, sometimes I'll see that downtown Charleston, and I love it when I see those suits.
It's very cool looking. Yeah, and when I was in Tampa for that event in July, of course, it was super hot, but I did see a lot of men wearing seersucker suits.
And I told Kristin this offline, a U.S. probation officer that I work with, Brett Taylor, actually trained me a lot, taught me a lot of stuff. But he was... he ordered a seersucker, and it was just so cool because there were a little bit of that in West Virginia, but not like it is here in the South. But he was a little more cultural than the rest of us. So
I like it.
I think
cool. You know what it is for me, Ron, when someone wears seersucker, because it is no longer the norm, I would say, depending on where you're at, but it kind of shows like you have this confidence, and then also that you respect tradition and the culture of the area, but also like you're okay standing out a little bit, which again goes back to that confidence.
Yeah, I just had a conversation with someone who was really frustrated because, listen, I'm a fan of Gen Z. They're doing some great things, but if you lose tradition, everything else is going to eventually erode. And that's what this person gave me a specific example I'm not going to go into because it's very personal. But it was people saying, well, I don't see the big deal in doing that. But it was a really family-oriented tradition. So that's where we got to guard against. So you're right.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, back to the Pacific Northwest. I would say that we've been perfecting coffee diplomacy in the Northwest. Specifically, everyone knows Starbucks is worldwide at this point, and it opened in one of your favorite cities, Ron, Seattle, in 1971. Have you ever gone to that very first Starbucks shop?
Are you kidding?
I'm assuming that's a yes.
I joke that I was going there. Now, you could get the original logo. A lot of people may not know this, the original logo, and I knew I would draw a blank. It's the mermaid looking, but it's a Greek goddess. The original Starbucks logo, she's topless. The hair, it goes outside her breast.
Oh, yeah.
And they had to, when they went, of course, public and mainstream.
It went outside. Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, you could see the breasts. So they put the hair over top of the breasts. So you could only get the original logo at the original Starbucks in Seattle. So some people found out I was going, and I had people begging me. So the outside of my suitcase 2 times was was nothing but tumblers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and it
Topless
costs a
tumblers.
fortune. It costs a fortune.
Oh yeah, they really make the prices high there. And there's always a line wrapping outside of it. It's kind of cool. They have the original flooring in there too. So it's exposed wood and just super rustic. But yeah, so that is also downtown Seattle. They opened in 1971. And, really since then, if you think about it, asking for plain black coffee, which I actually think has a cool factor to it, is basically a rebellion in the Northwest. So everything's lattes and pour overs. And I swear that's how we negotiate peace treaties here. I would say, though, leadership tip, culture matters. We were talking about culture just a minute ago here, even with the seersucker, right? And in some teams, there are small rituals, even like coffee runs, casual chats. It builds trust faster than normal meetings. And I literally started drinking coffee because I used to be a tea drinker, but all these folks in my in this pod that we were in, they would all get coffee, and it was something like the water cooler chats, right? It was like that, where you go and get coffee and you talk at the coffee station, and so it really, I see why it's important, right?
Kristen, number one, I know you guys did start it, but the coffee talk, it's
Coffee
gone
talk.
worldwide. Coffee,
Yeah.
as my New York friends would say. But
And my husband, coffee.
I know you don't remember this, but my book, The Dirty Side of Leadership, I
remember that.
I start the book in saying, imagine we're having coffee. And I reintroduce that,
yes.
and I do it in my leadership course, and I actually drink coffee. But I found the logo. I don't know if you can see it. I'm showing Kristen the original logo. Can you see that?
Yeah. And it's coffee. Oh, it says coffee, tea, and spices.
Yeah.
Is that what it says?
Yeah, but can you see her? I don't know what you can see on the camera.
Ron's trying to show me a
I'm trying
mermaid
to show you her
boob
boobies.
logo. Her boobies. I actually did not know that about the logo. And I live in the Northwest. So thank you for enlightening me.
That's okay. I'm here for you, Kristen.
I appreciate it.
All right. So that's quite a bit, but I'm going to give you just a very quick quiz, everyone. And, let's see how Kristen does.
Oh, I'm okay. Yep.
So, and then we'll kind of start to wind down here. I'm sure you've heard this one, but it did come out of the South. Hold your horses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Slow down and be patient. Yeah. How about this one? Like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Definitely heard it. Do not use that.
Do you know what it means?
I'm imagining they're like jumping off of there and
restless, jumpy, jerky.
Yeah, I don't want to be there. Yeah.
How about this one, Kristen? I am full as a tick.
Ew. No, I've never heard that one.
When a tick drinks blood, it swells
nasty.
up. Well,
do they pop eventually? If you smack them, maybe?
I think they would. They're easier to pick off when they swell it. But now, growing up in the Appalachia, we had Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and it was not uncommon for a kid to get a tick in their hair. And I've had them, but your parents would go through your hair and make sure. How about this one? He's going to pitch a fit.
I've definitely heard that.
And do you know what it means?
What's the derivative of that, though? Because I like to know, no, I don't know what it means exactly. I mean, I know I've used it in context, but what's the origin story?
I didn't look at the origin, but a fit is like if somebody's just,
freaking out.
Freaking out, they lose it. So pitch a fit means they're going
to freak out.
Yeah, I'm going to freak out on you. I'm going to go crazy on you, a temper tantrum, something like that. I would say you've heard this one. Can't carry a tune in a bucket.
No, I've not heard that one.
That's for people that can't sing. They can't carry a tune in a bucket.
In a bucket. And maybe because the bucket has good reverb, so almost everyone sounds good.
I guess. I think it's
I'm
more
gonna
sarcastic.
sing into a bucket, Ron.
I think it's more sarcastic. They're saying
everything has a derivative. That's why I love these sayings.
They're saying if you had a bucket with a tuna, you still couldn't carry it. That's what they're saying. But
that's what. Okay, all right.
I love this one.
Elsewhere.
If the good Lord willing and the creek don't rise.
Yeah, definitely have not used that one.
That just means if nothing unexpected happens.
Okay.
He's got a hitch in his giddy up. I know you can figure that one.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's, well, I'm going
giddy up
literal.
is
Like he literally has a funky walk or something.
Well, yeah, something's slowing him down. Like they use that sometimes if they want to make sarcastic remark about someone being mentally slow. They might say he's got a hitch in his giddy up.
So it could be
he's
mental or
one
physical.
fry short of a Happy Meal kind of thing.
Gosh.
That dog will hunt. We already said it. And then here's my next favorite besides fixin' is I reckon.
Oh, yeah. And I actually use that.
I reckon it's going to ring later.
Yeah, I'm thinking. You know what it is my family, my mom's side, they're from Fort Worth, Texas. And so a lot of those sayings have been integrated into my upbringing. So I have and I say y'all, even though I'm from the Northwest. So, yeah.
You say y'all?
I do.
You know, that's one that never grew on me. I don't say y'all much.
You know, it's mainly in text messages, I would say. I have one, Ron. This is almost embarrassing because my in-laws thought I was a Neanderthal because when I first met them, I said this. In the Northwest, we say your guys's. So, yeah, I'm talking, it's not just like low-level folk. I'm talking like the CEO of the banks I worked for in the Northwest and the executives, like everyone says your guys's. And so when I first met my in-laws and I was in their house, I was like, I love your guys's house.
Yeah.
And they later told Dave, something, talk smack a little bit,
One of our great instructors, he was from Ohio, but they're Italian, and he was phenomenal. He was articulate and all that, but he would go, "All's I want you to do." So we used to joke, Gene DiMaria, shout out to Gene, but all's I want you to do. And, we love that.
Yeah. I thought you were going to you guys's because so my husband had Italian neighbors, New York, obviously, and they would say you guys's.
Yeah.
You know.
So, Kristin, the one beautiful residual of working at a national training academy is we had employees and students from all over the United States. So I've heard almost every expression all over. It just, I'd heard you guys's, and it's just really, it's really cool. And I found out, I'm like you, I'm a linguist. I was into like words and origins. Like we found out Boston, like I grew up saying pop, get a pop.
Oh,
and when I moved here, it's all soda. So when we found out, I thought sometimes you'd think the Appalachia, we're the only ones that say this. But then I found out in Boston, they call it pop.
And in the Northwest, it used to be pop. And then I went to New York when I was 16. And I had been there a bunch, but I went to the city and I realized I need to start saying soda. It sounds so cool. And so I came back to high school and I was saying soda. And everyone's like, soda? That sounds cool, I'm like, yeah.
I kind of did it just because sometimes people would not know what I was talking about. Like when I grew up, you could put your groceries in a poke, and that's a paper poke. It's a paper bag. So,
that's something.
Yeah, that's one that no one gets except me and one other employee from Eastern Kentucky. He had the exact same dialect, the same everything as me. So it was really cool. He and I, we would all do that. We would kind of get together and share expressions and idioms and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. And then we convinced them we had this Southern look that if we gave each other a certain look, we would just kill the rest of them. So we wanted to do that to keep them on their toes.
I like it. Well, I have a question for leading people from all over, right? Leading people with very diverse backgrounds, within the United States, but very diverse backgrounds. How did you approach that?
The first thing is I tell everyone that the fundamental principles of leadership apply to any culture, any place, any time. But getting to know your staff, creating a baseline, speaking their language. Like if I've got someone from the Northwest, which we did have from Washington, and I would say, oh my God, I got to see Mount Rainier. I called him in my office. I got to see Mount Rainier. Loved it. It's things that show that you can relate to them, or you might ask them. Now I had some cultural, like one time we had a luncheon and it was paid for by the main office for an accomplishment. So everyone said, let's do a siesta. So I had a couple of Hispanic employees, and I said, is this cool? Like, are you guys good with this?
Yeah.
And man, they helped plan it. They did a piñata and the whole thing. They loved it. So there's a lot of things, but I got to be honest. I also, made mistakes, and you get busy, and it's easy to, you cannot be your own avatar. You always have to try to get other people's perspective, because if you are your own avatar, there's things I don't like, there might be something that the group would like that I don't like. But when I tell everyone, your personal likes have to decrease and the likes of your staff has to increase to be effective.
Oh my gosh, Ron, in The Office, and I have not quoted The Office for a while, Michael, the manager, no matter whose birthday it was, when they were getting ice cream, he'd go, mint chocolate chip. Like, that's what he wanted. And though I love that, and my daughter loves that, a lot of people do not. And so it just showed like he was a selfish leader, and that was part of the whole shtick, right?
The whole booze cruise.
Yeah. It's like all about him and the Dundies and all of that. But yeah, as a leader, to your point, you might just love a German chocolate cake, right? But that doesn't matter. Like, what matters is the people, like the majority voice in the office.
No, it's true. It's true in that situation. All right, let's start winding down a little bit here. We'll switch over. As you know, you got to see it, Kristin. This is the hub of the Civil War, and everyone wants to go down to the Battery in Charleston and look at the cannons. And
I did that.
It does bother me a little. I am part traditionalist, so I see people like laughing, making fun, riding the cannons, and it's just, I'm just saying that it's really a somber moment. But I think as years pass, it's like I hear comedians make a lot of jokes about 9/11, and I don't know. Sometimes you think you want to hold on to a little bit of the somberness of that, to think the first shot that created the most destructive war in our history happened right there. So I do think appreciating even your company's history is important. And there's certain traditions. I know people love to think they're radical, progressive, but there's some traditions you need to check yourself and go, am I doing this to try to put on the persona of progressive?
Yes.
Or is this something important that needs to be honored and valued? And I think that a lot of the progressives I've seen, they do it to be progressive, or be perceived as progressive. And that's not the right attitude.
Yeah, you know what's I wasn't writing one of the cannons. I can guarantee you that. But I definitely, when I was visiting that area, of course there was construction, so I wasn't able to really get the full picture of it. But I definitely did not channel the somber. It was more like, oh, this is like awestruck type of thing.
Yeah.
But I see what you're saying, because like I went to the 9/11 museum in New York City, and I feel like since they've shut that down because it was too expensive to maintain, which is horrible. But you really, really felt that. So the difference for me was I was around, I had family in New York City, I married a New Yorker, right? So like it felt more real, 9/11. But then the Civil War, I think the problem is people are so removed and they don't realize the depravity that, that took place, and just really the destruction that came after, because it's been so long. And I think it is good. It's a good reminder.
It is.
To remember where we came from.
And somber may not even been the right word. I just think we should teach our children history and what that represents. And if you don't even know what it is, like, oh, look at these cool old cannons.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. There should be some context with things like that.
Absolutely.
We went to I went to DC with my daughter as a chaperone. And, I worked in DC, but you'd never go out and do the touristy stuff. You're busy. And so anyway, we went to the Holocaust Museum, and I remember the kids crying. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I did that.
I think every kid should have to go there just to keep life in perspective.
I agree. I remember I can still smell that shoe leather, right? That room that had all of the shoes from I think it was the children. Actually, might have just been everybody. But you could still, it was, like the more senses that are activated, the more likely you are to remember it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. No. Okay. So let me go another somewhat somber. I think we forget this. I literally live right at the not the very end, but the Oregon Trail Museum is 10 minutes from my house. and we go there. You can make your own candles, and there's all sorts of stuff that you can do there. It's really cool. But it's so important that people realize that families traveled 2,000 miles, a lot of them just to die of dysentery, which is a true story. And it's, if that's not leadership grit, I don't know what is. But I bring my kids there. We bring some of the other homeschool kids there, and you're teaching as you're going through it. And so I would say a leadership lesson from that is, leadership is rarely glamorous. And that's why I like the title of your book so much, Ron, The Dirty Side of Leadership. We've talked about that so much because it's so true. If leadership is glamorous, I don't know if you're doing it right? Like I feel like unless you're making waves, you're probably not doing much. You're just kind of coasting on what was already laid for you before, right? And there's some presidencies that have happened that way, where everyone loves them. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing. Well, did they do anything? Did they make anything better? Did they save our country money, right? So sometimes it's about endurance and adaptability and leading people through uncertainty, even if it kind of feels like the Oregon Trail, which was not an easy ride. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Ron?
No, I agree. Do you remember you would watch these shows and they're working late in the office, but they're always in like New York City, and they look out and they get skyline and all that. And it looks so cool working late. I can remember working late. I can remember working late. Even though I had the water outside, I was thinking, this isn't as cool as it was on those programs I want. No, I think you do, I talked about your needs become less, but when you move up, you certainly, one of the first things I had to realize is everybody's not going to love me. And you make unpopular decisions sometimes, and you do your best. So,
yeah, I have to say just one more thing. People, this really sticks in my craw. That's probably a Southern saying too. But
it was.
So that's one that I definitely use. But it's, okay, we think about, I've heard, especially through like 2020 and everything that was going on with our country and still is, I hear a lot of people you want to be Christ-like. Oh, okay. Well, Christ was Jesus was the biggest disruptor known to man, right? And so I think a lot of people don't realize that. And they think being Christ-like is just letting anyone do anything to you and not standing for something. And I think it's really important to understand that someone that is going to bring things into the right trajectory is going to be a disruptor, right? It's at least at one level or another, right?
At some point. That's exactly right.
You have to. Otherwise, you're just riding coattails. And then are you a leader if you're riding coattails? No, generally not.
Yeah, that's true. Well, guys, Kristin, this has been so much fun. And I know that I speak for everyone listening. We want you to make biscuits and gravy and report back.
All right, maybe I will. I cook almost every single night. Do it right. Maybe I'll make picture on social media. Heads. I'm going to put biscuit, the big one. Cat head biscuits. Okay. You got to go big. Go big or go home, right? So I'll give it a shot.
And then, by the way, after you eat your biscuits and gravy, you put butter and jelly on a biscuit. That's your dessert. And it's, oh God, it's delicious.
So anyway. Do double cardio at the gym first.
Yeah. Don't even think about that. Don't think about that.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed us. We would love to hear if you've got any idioms, expressions, things we haven't heard, or foods that, pecan pie, pecan. I did want to see, how do you pronounce that, Kristin, before we go?
You know what's funny? I kind of go between the two because I have East Coast. My dad's from New York and my mom's, from Oregon, but had the Texas roots. I say both. Let me just see what naturally pecan is what comes naturally to me, but I rotate. What about you?
I know Georgia and I say pecan as well, but some people though, they definitely argue that it's pecan. So it's really funny.
Yeah. It's funny. Okay. I rotate.
All right, everybody.
Love it.
We can go on and on.
This was a different one for sure, but I think it's cool. I think there's a lot of takeaways within. You just have to find them.
All right. Be the leader you're meant to be.
We'll see you next week.
The Dirty Side of Leadership podcast is brought to you by Forward Operations. If you'd like to book Ron or Kristin for speaking events, training, or executive coaching, visit forwardoperations.com. Be the leader you're meant to be.